Mass customization. It really is almost the epitome of where we're going with manufacturing. If you can pull this off, people are going to beat a pathway to your door, is the old saying, and they will, because you're going to give them exactly what they want because of the fact we like to have things that we want. We want it customized to us. I want my name on every single piece of clothing that I have, even if it's a matter of on the laundry tag, whatever it may be, because I'm special, because I'm we're really there by the time you're all done. People like to have brand names on their clothing. I have all my shirts are from Nike. You have this. People like brand names. I was in a class one time and we're talking about the aspect of trying to start a company that sits down and makes polo shirts. So it says, what's the first thing you do? Some student in the back of the class says, you get yourself a brand name first. I rolled my eyes and I thought, okay, stop rolling your eyes. He's right. People like names, even if it's an unheard of names. We all want to be special. We all want to have our own brand. We want to be identified with something, and mass customization is a fabulous way to do that. And because people like it, that means we need to pay attention in our service and also in what we manufacture. We need to monitor the development of relevant new technologies on a regular basis. And that's what we call about the bookshelf of technologies and suppliers. What is out there? What is changing? Really, research and development takes place in the Wall Street Journal or The Economist on a regular basis. You're paying attention to what the new technologies are. A buyer can introduce the technologies and new products by taking an existing product and just adding one or two different things and upgrade it. Then all of a sudden you have people beating at your doorstep because of the fact you have the coolest new product out there and the best new service. So it depends about the difference in the advantages of being on the cutting edge, or even what we call the bleeding edge of new technology. Know what's out there, because you have two different aspects of it. You have craft production and you have mass production. Mass production is everything's a modular, bang, bang, bang. And you go right down the line, and you have a large quantity of goods with a small variety. Some of them out there are highly successful. Timu is out there, and you have them cranking out fast fashion. And then they stop the machine and they shift all of a sudden, boom, 4 months later, and they crank out something else. Brilliant strategy. They're using mass production and actually grabbing a big chunk of fashion market by having this stuff, by producing cheap, inexpensive items that will disintegrate after it wears 4 or 5 times, possibly. Just depends what you have or how you use it. So you have Timo out there, but then they come out with something brand new. People like it. They're spending a lot of money, and their slogan is something about the aspect of live like a billionaire. Well, they're tossing stuff away on a regular basis, and people like it because they have fast fashion. It changes, 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 and they are on cutting edge, right where we want to be. The mass customization, you can utilize mass production to do this, provided that you have a lot of automating in the process and you're measuring the task on a regular basis. We call this a mechanistic organization. By mechanistic, it means it's modularized, and you have a machine cranking out exactly the same thing. By organic, you'd have a lot of flexibility where people are changing things as you're going through. You'll see how you do that. When you go into a fast food place, you can go on the East Coast or the West Coast and order the same product and get exactly the same product. If you sit down and have customization, well, no, I want to have this. I want to have this. I don't want a round bun. I want to have a square bun. We don't make square buns, but we'll make one for you right over here. It costs you more money because you want a customized bun. We'll customize that bun for you and add corners to it in the process. So somebody sits there and fabricates a square bun, they charge you an outrageous fee, and you like it because of the fact you put your own name on the side of it. Yes. Okay, that's a craft production. On mass production, everything looks the same and has the same feel. And I don't know about you, I'm not certain I want to have, when I walk into fast food joint here in California, and I walk into one with the same name over here on the East Coast, over in New England, I'm not certain I want it to be different. I think I like to have exactly what I'm ordering, and I know what I'm ordering. When I go to France, I may want to sit down and go into a restaurant, the same name, but they have a little bit different variety with a little bit of French flavor to the process, and I can order a glass of wine with my name instead of a Diet Coke. So it just depends what you have out there on the mass production. So pay attention to that. This model is not to be discarded, but craft production really involves a lot of highly skilled and flexible workers that know exactly what the product is and all the different variations of them. A lot of times they call them craftsmen in the process. So you have that aspect of it. It's organic, it's flexible, it changes. Here comes this over here. Okay, this person wants to have this instead of a clear glass, they want to have colored glass. Okay, to do this. So you have to have somebody can sit down and change right in the middle of the production line. Boom, all of a sudden the glass has a color added to it. Boom, it happens, and you see clear, 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 green, clear, clear, blue, clear, clear, and you may have a whole pattern where somebody's injecting it, but you can't do that with just a person that's mechanistic that, oh, I just crank the windshield, oh, this. No, you have to have a skilled person, somebody with super skills at craftsman level to sit down and change that. It's fabulous, but you can charge more money and you don't have to stop the machine. You can have concurrent production happening at the same time with regular and customization all at the same time instead of stopping your machinery, resetting for this, and crank out 2 of this, 3 of this, and 4. You can sit down and do it if you have the right way to modularize your construction to sit down and have your machine be able to pivot so quickly, but it takes a special skill set. 2 types of inherent trade-offs on it. Okay, you have low cost, low variety strategy, appropriate for some products. If you go back historically, one of the very first ones to come out with a small production size was actually Chrysler in the aspect of their Roadster. So they came out with a Roadster in about the year 2000, and they intended it for to be only a 50,000 unit production. So they decided that, boom, they'll have this, and they also had a lot of very special customization coming in off the assembly line. So you have that. You'll see your higher end vehicles that cost $200,000 and $300,000. A lot of them are actually made by a group of employees rather than an individual employee. If you look at some of the different aspects, they sit down there and they carry parts in and they assemble them right there on the spot rather than having a production line. And each one can be interchangeable. A lot of them have multiple different skills. Here's the wiring component, here's the cooling component. It just depends what's involved in the process. For mass customization, you need to have that same super duper skill level and make certain that you have it, but it's not appropriate for all products. They all don't need it, but make certain that you have the opportunity. If you do this, you can sit down there and make an awful lot of money. Key attributes: instantaneously, boom. Got to be able to shift gears quickly. And a lot of times you need to have a modular process that you can change in and out in the process, and they have a rapid response. It should be costless, should be in the same machinery. It should be able to just make one small different aspect of it. Sometimes it may cost more at the initial setup, more capital initially, but if it can be costless in the actual regular production, life is better. And seamless. The production lines that you have can sit down there and just change. You push a button, boom, you change a modular out and it spins over there. So it's seamless. You can actually not even bend or shift at all in the process. If you can keep it going, life is good if it's seamless and frictionless. It doesn't cause a lot of problems. And either it's computer talking to each other, machines talking to each other, or somebody that has a ticket that can sit and identify it, when to push the button at the right time. So we call that frictionless in the process. A lot of times, your supply chain management approach for mass customization is a big thing, and a lot of it is involved with IT. You have to have these partnerships with integration in the process. And looking at the customization, here are the 4 things. Master these 4 things, and the world will be the path to your doorstep. Instantaneous, costless, seamless, frictionless, and you too can have a mass customization process added to your standardization, the 2 concepts we really talked about in this chapter over here. If you do this, you're going to have a really brilliant supply chain, and that'll also sit down there and help you in your profession in the process of supply chain management. Take care.